Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Elsa Marie De Silva. Welcome to my Sunday Reflections. And as you know, I've been doing it since April and getting a friend to talk to me about how they are doing, how they are coping during the COVID 19. And today with me, I have Shilo Menezes. She's a dear friend from my aviation days, both from JET, where she was my student, and then my colleague in Kingfisher, and now she's a partner. She's based out of Singapore. Hi, Shiloh. Good evening. How are
Hi,
you doing?
uh, I'm fine. How are you? Thank you
Very
for
well.
having me. Thank you for having me over.
Well, I find your journey very interesting. I always find women's journeys interesting, but in particular, someone who's worked with me in aviation and gone off to do something completely different is always fascinating. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your initiative, the Curator?
Okay, so I'm based out of Singapore and I came to Singapore over 20 years ago to kickstart my career in the aviation industry with Singapore Airlines. I'm the proud mother of two children and a wonderful husband and very supportive husband. He's around here. Okay, I've always had a passion for soft furnishings, interiors, and decorating homes. And about 3 years ago, my dream was realized when I opened my own store, The Curator. The curating home decor is aligned with everything I love: art, creativity, and networking. And my career in the aviation industry and my travels have helped cultivate and nurture my aesthetic sense of art, if I may say so. Post flying, I manifested this passion through the Curator home decor and art store. And being an entrepreneur has empowered me to take a leap into the unknown and to focus on my strengths and keep a lookout for fresh ideas, which helps differentiate my business offerings. For example, I noticed the quaint and beautiful shop houses in Singapore, which are heritage buildings. And I decided, why not use that in my artwork and in my art pieces? And they have been a great success, not only in Singapore, but also with tourists who come to Singapore and they like to take, a souvenir back home to their home countries of Singapore. So I continue to strive to create love in the form of art. That's actually sort of my, that's how it started my entire journey with the Curator.
And I have seen some of your work, and I've been to your exhibition in Singapore, and you are a partner where some of the proceeds goes to Red Dot Foundation. So thank you very much for the collaboration and for giving us that space and visibility as well. Can you share a little bit more about how, a job in aviation, for example, helps you in something like this? Because often people think that, they are only good for one thing. And when they are stuck in that space, and aviation can be a bubble, it's very hard for them to think of themselves as an entrepreneur or starting something completely from scratch and in a country that is not your own, where you have to also recreate contacts. Deep dive a little more for us.
So I think yes. When you start off with aviation, everyone thinks it's a rut, and you're not going to get out of there. Especially 3 years, 5 years down the line. And I don't think so. I don't think it's like that. For example, for me, I'm very passionate about art and reviving old art forms. And I think through my travels, I got an opportunity to go to many museums in different countries to learn about their art, their culture, and I've incorporated that into, my work. My line of work has provided me with a platform to connect, contract, and conceptualize with skilled artisans across Asia. And my passion for art and my company vision, they complement each other. So my company vision is to promote skilled artisans and encourage indigenous craftsmanship with the purpose of reviving old art forms. and thereby helping to provide employment in a sustainable manner. So when I traveled, with the aviation industry, I would always go to different countries, collect different souvenirs, and get really excited. Some of the crew, they would go out shopping. I mean, everyone, has their own interests. So for me, it was always home decor, going to the flea markets. I don't know, I get a real kick out of going to flea markets. I love it. I think it's got its own soul, it's got its own character. And if you're lucky, you get to visit the past, or, a glimpse of the history of the place or of the antique that you have around. So, or you buy. So I think for me, flying in the aviation industry has been a big impact. It's created a big impact in my life, as an entrepreneur.
And what are the challenges of starting your own business? Have you found it to be uh, difficult as a woman, difficult in a new country, or has it been to your advantage to actually start your own business?
Okay, so I mean, yes, there were challenges, and I think and there'll always be challenges, and I think it's with any line or any work that you set to yourself, or you choose. But I think you have to go past those, and you have to for me, for example, I feel self-motivation is key. And when you are an entrepreneur, and that itself, to self-motivate can be a big challenge in itself. And an entrepreneur must be able to effectively communicate, sell, focus, strategize, re-strategize, and I think learn. You have to continuously learn and keep abreast of times. For example, in the current situation in today's world, social media plays such an important role. Therefore, you need to keep evolving all the time, and you have to be on top of your game, and you have to keep, learning and re-strategizing all the time. Another challenge that I have come across as an entrepreneur is, I think, intimidation from the opposite sex, or unfavorable business environment in some cultures, not all, in some cultures, and this can be a real dampener. Being a woman, I think, Elsa, you have to stay your ground, and especially with the people that I am working with in more of a male dominated area, and I have to really work hard to prove myself, and so that they take me seriously and that I'm heard. Starting a business is a hard road, and it can be very lonely up there, and for being a female entrepreneur can be difficult, but I think it's completely manageable. Yeah, as long as you don't have unrealistic expectations of yourself, and you should be able to give yourself a pat on your back from time and time again, and say, hey, you're doing a great job. So don't think that you know you should not have those unrealistic expectations. So,
You touched on several important themes. One is you have to be kind to yourself. Second is be realistic. And third is it's about perseverance. It's true, you have to keep reiterating your goals, maybe revising your goals.
yes.
Um, we've done that with Red Dot, not straying from our mission, but strategizing on the ways to reach out and get more people involved, get more funds. And of course, it's hard. Funding to,
Yes.
for your work is always, always very hard. And especially in, when you're in a for-profit business, it's even harder because you have to find out what's the latest trends, what people like, and so on and so forth.
True.
Yeah, you've got a
The
lot of fans following here, but yeah, just go on and say what's on your mind.
Hello, everybody. Okay. So, also with regard to that, I always feel it's okay to make mistakes, and you learn from them. And one has to just suit up and get oneself a strong support system, and you can do it in an accountability partner. And I think everybody needs an accountability partner at some point of time in their life. And an accountability partner can help us achieve our goals by cheering us on, holding us responsible, and providing us with the motivation we need to thrive. An accountability partner can also help with brainstorming new ideas. And best of all, they challenge you when it counts. So, that also helps to increase your growth and your opportunity. So you can get an accountability partner in a number of different ways. You can have business coaches, your partners, your co-workers, basically your friends or anyone who you trust, who has the same vision, your value systems, your goals. And I think whoever you choose, I think trust is a very, very important factor. And someone who values you and someone who challenges you without condemning you. I think that's a key factor. You don't want to be condemned or put down or looked down upon. When you're working with somebody, it's you want to be at par with with somebody, even if it's your own business. I think teamwork is very, very important over here. So therefore, I think it's really important as an entrepreneur to stay focused, to learn, and keep on re-strategizing to overcome challenges in one's lives.
Are you a single founder, or you have a partner in your business?
I'm a single founder. So
And
that's
that
why
can be a lonely journey. I know it because I started off with I've done it, done the whole cycle. I started with two friends. It didn't work out with them. Then I'm like the one person driving it. But then along the way, I decided, yes, I need somebody with me, and I found Supreet. Not I found Supreet, she was always there from day one, but I invited her to join the organization as a partner because I felt it was a very lonely journey, and you need somebody there, like you said, to bounce ideas off and to
yes,
constantly keep that accountability in check.
yes,
Somebody who is not afraid to tell you, hey, listen,
true.
you need to slow down, or you're too ambitious. Can you just
Yes,
revise it downwards, please? So yeah, so we need all kinds of help, and we shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. So thank
true.
you for sharing that. It's very, not many entrepreneurs actually share these challenges and some of the strategies that have helped them. So thank you for being vulnerable. Well, tell us a little bit about your charity drive, because you've just finished this huge drive putting together food packets and cupcakes for 3,000 people. That's a
Yes,
huge assignment. Tell us
yes.
more.
Well, of course, it's a multi-faith outreach program, and it's just between friends. And we decided, since Christmas, is the time for sharing and, Thanksgiving, and the pandemic has really taken its toll on many of us. So we decided, why not, do something in return and spread the light and spread love and joy in the community. So we all decided to get together. We just friends. We roped in our spouses, our families, and we took the help of the local Gurudwara, and we cooked the food over there. So it was just purely all volunteers. Whatever we brought in, we in the form of either food packets, which were sent to homes, homes, uh, old folks' homes, homes where there are the mentally challenged, people. We also reached out to migrant workers. We reached out to needy families. So we reached out to 3,000 people all over Singapore. And finally, I mean, it was a great success. It took us, I think, 2 months or so to start off. And yeah, I mean, it was a feat, a Herculean task, but I can say that it's so fulfilling. So the 3,000 cupcakes, 3,000 um, food packets, and we did 1,500 goodie bags approximately. Yeah. And we gave it out to the community. And it was complete teamwork. I had volunteers from all over Singapore, women baking cupcakes, going to work, coming back, baking cupcakes, some of them 100, some of them 50. And it was fabulous to get all the support And we're planning something more maybe in the future, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully things, and it's going to be a continuous process for us. Yes. So it's been a
Do you,
fantastic journey.
do you do this every year, or is this something that you've done in the pandemic?
This is the first time that we've, catered to 3,000 people. But during the pandemic, it's given us a lot of time to think about how grateful we should be. And I started off during the pandemic, by reaching out to a small community of women to make chapatis, rotis, that's the Indian flatbread. And we would then pass on these rotis to the Gurudwara, who would then make bento boxes and, pass on the meals, the food packets to migrant workers and stranded Indian students and many people basically who could not afford, meals. So that was also very overwhelming. In a day, I would collect at times like 1,500 rotis, to be passed on to the Gurudwara. So that was one initiative that it took place. Another one was the Share a Cupcake initiative, which again, as I mentioned, women would just get together. We would all get together, and then we would, bake cakes, and then we would pass it on to the migrant workers as well as uh, to the homes.
That's amazing. And continue to keep up the good work. And if there's another drive, do let us know so that we can promote it.
Yes, it
So
would
that
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
lots of
I
people
definitely
can
will.
benefit.
It definitely will. I mean, you've been doing such great work, with Red Dot and with Safe City, and you're such an inspiration to many as well. And we are so happy to collaborate with Red Dot and Safe City, and it's been a pleasure. I mean, yeah, our journey is over 20 years, if I may say us, and we started off in the same classroom together. You, my tutor, but today look at where we are. Yeah, for my safety instructor, and we're sitting together across. I think ours was the first batch.
I was just going to
I
save my memories of me, right? You were the first batch where I was thrown into the deep end and said, like, teach these people. And I was like, okay, I have no clue, but I'm going to try my best. But isn't that what life is all about? You are thrown into these situations and you just have to do your best. You just have to stay focused on the goal and get out of it in one piece.
Yeah, and I think you just have to make the best of every situation that's given to you and keep smiling. I think the most important thing is just keep smiling all along, all the way, and everything just falls into place. That's what I believe at the end of the day.
That's true. So, how have you been keeping positive during COVID?
Oh, well, COVID has been quite a challenge, but we've taken it in our stride. And I think January, at the beginning of this year, it was already, at our doorstep in Singapore, and we already had started to feel the ripples way before it caught up with the rest of the world. But for me, my work basically involves, of course, interacting with people, having pop-ups and exhibitions. And when COVID hit, everything came to a standstill. So it was a time, to reflect and spend more quality time with the family. And so with regard to work, as I said, I re-strategized and I started my jewelry line, and along with my existing home decor business. So for me, it was my jewelry line that kept me, on my toes, you can say, and it it's been a hit. It's been a great hit actually with people. There are a lot of people who are, of course, women are into jewelry, but yeah, I didn't think that it would get such a great response. But we're very happy with the response. That is work front. With regard to with my personal life, I mean, for me, it gave me a lot of time to spend with the family, with the kids, and with Savio being at home, and with work, and he was working from home as well. Kids were at home for a month and a half, and though there was online class, And though it was hectic, but still, I think at the end of the day, we just managed to squeeze in a lot of time, spend time together, have our cooking sessions, our walks. We were allowed to go down as long as you could, you were in your own bubble, and you had to wear your mask. So yeah, our evening walks and cooking sessions, our board games. I think everyone went back to their board games, and it brought back a lot of childhood memories for everyone all over the place, all over the world, I think. So it was a time to reflect and get down to being with the family.
You know, that's one of the things that has come out of this pandemic, that we have strengthened relationships that we otherwise took for granted. And this time is really precious. And whilst we have a lot to complain about, I do believe it was a gift given to us, even though we may not have seen it as a gift at the time. And hopefully, all of us have come out of it stronger. Yes, some have suffered more than the others, but overall, I suppose it's made us reflect and think about the privilege that we have, and what else that we can do with our lives. So did you, apart from your jewelry design, did you go back to any hobby, or did you pick up a new hobby? I've seen all these pictures. Of course, I started this, so this has kept me busy, and all the podcasts and everything else. But I've seen other friends take up gardening and cooking, and some have gone back to dancing as well.
So for me, it's art. It's always been art, And for me, I went back to my sketching, my drawing, my painting, and I think, yeah, I mean, I never ever had an opportunity or time earlier, because I was really busy. But yes, baking is something I love doing with the kids, and I went back to baking and cooking and artwork. Yeah, when drawings and sketching, etc. So yeah, that's and it gives me a lot of pleasure, and it's sort of, it is my time, it's me time. So that's really an important factor, I think, which we, for all of
So
us,
we have
I
a lot
think.
of friends of yours, and I guess some common friends. So we have Natalie, and I guess
Oh,
that's your mom, Maria Pinto. Is
no,
Maria
that's
Pinto
my
your
aunt.
mom? Your
No, she's my
aunt?
aunt.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Hi, Maria. Lovely comments. Maybe you can take some time to read them afterwards. Cecilia, Ovita,
That's my mom, Cecilia.
and there's Henrietta, and we have Vabis. So all of them have sent you lots of love. And you can also pose your questions to Shiloh. So we have a few minutes still, so you could, share your questions for her. This is your moment. But a lot of blessings and love coming your way. Shiloh, I ask this question of all my guests. What is your advice to your 16-year-old self?
Okay, so my advice is, take chances. uh, don't be afraid. Don't don't cocoon yourself. Go try and go around, do whatever you want to. Everyone makes mistakes, all right, and don't be afraid. I think that's very important. And being a woman, don't think, I mean, it you know learn to be strong. Don't be afraid of anybody. I always tell my kids as well, fear is something that will bring you down, it will drag you. So don't ever be afraid to voice your opinion. Don't ever be afraid to say no. If you are not happy, just say no. If you're not comfortable in a situation, don't be afraid to say no. And I think I have learned that now, at this point of time in my life, to say no. And it's always, I've always tried to accommodate everybody else, and if they want something. But and just I think the simple fear of losing out, or not having friends, or just losing friends, or losing out on opportunities. But I think you have to stand up for yourself.
And it's true because we are socially conditioned as women most often to not take risks. and we are told what to do, and we are not actually allowed to think freely and dream big. Because it's always like, oh, you're going to get married, and if your ambition is bigger than that of your husband's, it might cause problems in your marriage. So that's the bottom line, right? So ambition is not encouraged, risk taking is not encouraged, and therefore when you find yourself in business or in corporate, you don't really feel like you have the skills necessary. And take for example, when an opportunity is presented to you, you will think 10 times, because you want to be 100% perfect before you accept. But a man, even if he has 40% knowledge of the topic, will grab that opportunity and then figure it out, right? So we have to teach at an early age all the young girls to be, fearless in their risk taking, and to know that it's okay to fail as well. Just try it out. If you don't like it, there are 101 things that you can do.
Yeah, I think opportunities always come, and if one door shuts, is one that always open. And I believe for us, we need to actually continuously work and be able to prove ourselves. And whereas for men, I mean, I agree with that, with what you said, Elsa. For me, for example, just to give you a very short example, I always wanted to be a journalist. And then I said, if I want to be a field journalist, I have to travel, and, what will happen? And, my parents were always, scared, what's going to happen if you're going to travel, and it may not be safe, etc. But at the end of the day, I think you should take those risks and challenges, in life, and never say never. You don't know where you will be in the future. So yeah.
Never say never. I like that. And don't self censure so that you don't limit yourself. What are you looking
Yes.
forward to in the new year?
Well, the new year, new challenges. Of course, everything opening. Hopefully, everything opens and full throttle with regard to work, with social service, and looking forward to my new line of jewelry and picking a new place to visit. So for me, every year I try and visit a new place to meet, the artists, to meet skilled craftsmen and indigenous craftsmen, and work with them. So for me, hopefully next year I'm looking at Myanmar or Vietnam. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, and I've got myself a new place as well. So more exhibitions over there for sure. Yeah, so
Where can
lots of
people
travel.
where can people buy your jewelry and other artifacts?
So I have an online business, as well as I do pop-ups and exhibitions, and now I have a store as well. So I mean, if all the details are on my website as well as on my Facebook page. So if
Okay,
anyone wants to get in touch, yes, they can message me on Facebook, or just go on our website, and all the details will be available.
great. So, yeah, so thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful conversation. Venkatesh, who's joined in and is a big fan of my show, says careers can be switched as our passions
Yes,
evolve.
of
And
course.
that's really true, because
Yes.
as we grow older, we are more in tune with what really makes us happy, and therefore we are willing to take some risks.
Yes.
So, on that note, thank you, Shilo. All the very best and good luck. And thank you for supporting us at Red Dot, but also thank you for all the wonderful work you do with. Oh, there's a question before we leave. So, we got it just in time. So, Natalie asks, what motivates you to keep going on those not so good days, especially when it comes to running your business?
So I think for me, self motivation is very, very important, as I mentioned, and I keep trying to motivate myself. And I have friends who inspire also. And Natalie, you're an inspiration as well, I must say. Elsa, and also it's I think prayers one thing that keeps me motivated all along. So there are many hello, yeah, okay. So prayers is something that I'm I think it really helps and motivates me when I'm down or when I'm out, and I think it's for most people as well.
Yes, I guess being spiritual, whatever it is, um, have some
Yes.
kind of foundation that will help you. And that's great advice, especially during this time. And I guess this is your mom. Cecilia says, "Bless you, my daughter Shilo," and you're happy. So,
Yes. That's my mom.
yeah. So, thank you for watching, everyone. And thank you, Shilo. This has been an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you and wish you once again a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year and all the very best.
You too, Elsa. Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone out there. And Elsa, you too. Catch up
Happy
soon.
holidays.